All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I'm going to say is brought to you by Camo Dumpsters. This is a great company that I got up in Tennessee. One of the things I want to tell you, we're trying to expand in so many different directions, but one of the things I can tell you before I even expand, I want to make sure you understand I came from big companies that did not always give customer care. I'm training all my people to make sure they show y'all customer care because I believe that's going to be the foundation to make everything work better. So they're going to have to believe in my product. They're going to have to believe in me, and we're going to give you the best product that we possibly can. And it's just a dumpster, right? It's a simple thing, but it's one that I'm going to show you care on the upfront. So when you get something from me, you understand you got care behind it. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do at Camo. And you're talking to the VP, somebody that actually care and on the scene. That's right. Mm-hmm. So come give us a chance. Camo Dumpsters in Tennessee. Now, I got to get away from that for a second and a half because, again, that's one of the things I do. Second thing I do is I come in the studio each and every time with this man that always comes in with a smile. Now, we don't know what all makes him smile, but we're going to find out today. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Fabulous, Smooth J. Everything's lovely, bro.
I see somebody saying
everything lovely. Mm-hmm. Yes, and we have our guest here again tonight, Miss J. Gia. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys.
Okay,
good.
You look
Welcome
like you
back.
smiling harder than the last time there, Craft. Just saying.
You always done some shit, Jay.
Bro, I see your smile is consistent each and every time.
Yes.
But certain times when people in here, you got a different smile, player.
Okay.
Yeah, you got one of them cha-ching smile.
You silly, man.
Like, you got that sparkle in your spine.
How are you doing today, man?
Okay, you getting it off of you again. Okay, well, let's get back to me because I got problems, okay? This is why I do the show. I need therapy. Everything I got going and all the pressures, one of the things I tell you, I need to come back home sometime and get away from the hustle and the bustle. I don't know how many of y'all got a man cave y'all can go to or a place to get you away from everything that goes on, but I really suggest y'all do it. It's a therapy that everybody needs because if you stay under pressure, I don't think you perform well. I feel like you got to get some of the pressure off you. You got to get back to you because you got to know your steps of you loving you and being you. And a lot of times these pressures take you away from that.
Absolutely.
It could be a prayer time. It could be a yoga time. It could be a time that you just chill out with a drink and do you. I can't give you your recipe. Your recipe is going to be yours. Mine is just to get away from what I'm normally dealing with to get to a comfortable place where I don't have to deal with it.
Yes.
I think clearly and I attack better. Because I attack my problems. I don't know how y'all go with y'all's. They don't go unanswered. They go attacked. I attack with a purpose because then I get the time to think about it and strategize a great way to come at it. But the strategy is everything.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is I can't do that under pressure.
Yes.
But that's me. That's my downfall. But it's one of the things I'm not great at, but I'm learning to get away from and get better at.
Yeah, and we all have to know when to say when, right? When things get a little tough, things get a little hairy, things they don't seem to be working out right. Take a step back and woosah.
Yeah.
Right?
So what about our guests?
Huh?
What about our guests? You sitting over there like she got something to say.
Yeah. Miss JG, what you got to say on that? Anything about stress? How's the stress levels in your life?
I mean, stress comes with, it comes with it. So
it comes with
just
it.
handle it accordingly and make sure it doesn't take you out.
There you go. There you go.
Have a little sip of wine from here and there.
Yeah.
It'll fix you up.
And ultimately, you just have to be ready for the unknown. That's what creates stress, the unknown.
Right.
And the more prepared you are, the less stress that you will have going forward.
And I think prepared is also going through it a little bit so you can step back because at that point you can prepare.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people get scared. I feel like you get out of your scaredness because it keeps you from doing and get into your preparedness. I mean, now you know the information. Right. It's like you walk in and everybody bombards you with all this stuff, okay? Instead of letting that scare you and being like, man, I'm not doing good. How about step back, strategize, and come back with a process to address a lot of the stuff that needs to be addressed. Please understand, everybody going to give you information that you need to really wonder. They can give you their bull. But the stuff that can impact you to get you to greatness, I like to say you got to grab a little bit of that, put it in there, and it's put in part of your plan to be your success. That's your success. Everybody's not going to give you things to make you successful. They'll give you things to worry for they don't have to worry. Right. No. I'll hold you still to you what I paid you to do. But I want to understand what I can do to be greater at what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's involving others and not just in trusting. You have to believe in yourself first.
Facts.
And that way you can have a better understanding of what you're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I already got me.
Right.
And I already know everybody ain't going to have me.
There you go.
But when I hear something that sounds factual to what I'm already trying to do, then I can start adding more to my equation. And then we work as a team. Know your team. And that's one of the things I got to put out there, that even though it's not our topic. Know your team. Know who you're playing with, from your partner to your business people, before you can play a game that could be successful. It's rough playing spades with a person that don't know how. Yeah. But when you're playing with a person that has some ideas, you formulate a teamship that then when you go low, I know to come high without us speaking. And that's what you want in day-to-day life, a person that's going to work with you than a person talking against you.
Excellent, excellent. And a great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J.
In the corner.
We have Jay Gia in the house tonight.
On the side.
And, of course, we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. Just another opportunity for us to be leaders here in our own community.
Yes.
And we're going to talk pretty deep about this subject tonight. It goes like this. In dating, are we asking the right questions, or does it even matter?
Seeing that I ain't good at dating, you really want to ask me that?
Yeah.
I ain't with nobody now.
This show should help us get better at dating, right?
Well, I will hope so. That's why I'm on it.
When the
Lord knows I failed at a lot of things.
When the next one come around, you should have a few more questions you want to ask, a few more inquiries you want to have.
You know, the problem is too many men came around. I'm starting to feel like this ain't working. But I tell you what, I'm going to get off me jokingly and get back to a serious side. I like to say it like this. I like it because, again, all I've been through, quit giving somebody a roadmap on how to play you and ask questions that can help contribute to you. So if somebody cheated on you, I don't have to talk about cheating. I've been through that. I like to talk about things that will relate more to what you see in me and where we can go. Because, again, I can tell you on the upfront some things that I don't want to tolerate, okay? Disrespect, talking down, and you not caring for me or cheating on me. I just remember that I don't care to give power to what I already been through. I like to give power and understanding that ain't everybody. And I really feel like a lot of times we categorize everybody. And you want to categorize. So you ask all these questions, and these questions can be lied to. They don't have to answer honestly because they already, in their minds, have something desired outcome that they have other than what I'm trying to seek. I'm trying to seek honesty to see if it's a good match. They're looking at trying to be with you because of a lust or a situation, fame, or whatever. So they have ill intent from the beginning. I don't think there's no questions you can ever ask when you got an ill intent person that don't really care. They just want one object, lust or whatever. It's going to be difficult, so you're going to ride that ride to see. But my whole thing is I'm going to formulate questions that's going to be more related to a formula what can work best for me. And then I can see if you can formulate or talk to me to make me realize you're a good person before I can go to the next step. Because some things can just stay on the phone. We'll never have to meet because everybody ain't for me.
There you go.
But the more people I can talk to and I can formulate a good opinion, then I can see where else it can go, categorize friend or whatever. And I categorize everybody somewhat as a friend. And I had somebody tell me, I don't date my friends. I said, because you don't know how to date. Because the number one person should be a person I can relate everything to, and that's a friend. But you don't want to mess with a friend because your friend every day ain't gonna body, and then you made certain people your lovers. You categorize the wrong people, and that's why you still out there damn dating. And you might as well get a cat and a dog because that's what your ass gonna be with.
Right.
Get next to an animal that might be able to show you that what you missing.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be hard for a person because you're putting yourself into a box yourself that anybody can read and ain't nobody gonna stay with. That's a selfishness.
Yeah.
You got to be open because everybody ain't perfect, but you feel like you are. That's a problem. I'm serious. The only ones that are going to give a damn is the cat and the dog. Because as long as you feed them, they can care less. You can't just feed me and think I don't care. I got emotions and feelings like anybody else. Play me the wrong way, and you will see I will not be in your life because everything ain't for me. And acting like that, yeah, stick with them.
Yeah. And we missed just a real quick segment. This is our prayer. We always do a prayer at the beginning of the show. So let me just lay a word on this, and we're going to come right back into the topic.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you today for who you are in our lives. We thank you for your grace and your love and your protection and your mercies. We thank you for just being God that you are. We ask, Heavenly Father, tonight that you would come into this studio and speak to us about dating. Help us to formulate and understand the right questions, the right desires of another person, and why it matters and to what tune it should matter. We're asking Heavenly Father for the intelligence and the understanding and the wisdom and the knowledge of dating and getting to know other people. We ask that you would put this wisdom in us, be here in this show, speak your good word, and allow it to be edifying to your spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And I have to apologize for getting off tangent and not letting you do that up front. One thing I tell you, we always pray before our show. Mm-hmm. And one thing I always want y'all to know is when you can be man enough to understand a mistake. These shows ain't really edited because, again, they're going to happen. And, again, Kraft got me back on task. That's why I never want to do things on my own, because sometimes you need somebody to help you, because that prayer is going to be the most powerful thing throughout this whole show.
Right.
Because without his deliverance, I promise you, I'm nothing.
Right.
So for me to apologize is just because I want to make sure he gets his glory all the time.
All the time. There you
and
go.
when I make a mistake, I want to amend it, because I don't just say I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one of the things I tell somebody. I take time before I speak, because I'm tired of saying I'm sorry.
Right.
But when I do something and I don't mean it to be that way, I'm glorifying back to the good Lord, because I have to say I'm sorry, because that was not my intent.
Right.
It's always to glorify on the upfront of him, to see what all I've been given through him.
Okay.
And that's why I did that. So again, go ahead, Craig. You know, because you always keep us on point, player.
So the question for tonight, in dating, are we asking the right questions, or does it even matter? I would ask everyone the question, what do we want to know about the people that we are dating?
Is they crazy? Is they mama crazy? Do you make stalkers?
All right.
Are you a homemaker?
All right.
I'm just saying, you got to ask certain questions to get certain results. Some things are going to be silly, some things not. Mm-hmm. But again,
What else
it just kind of opens up some things. You know, I'm not going to ask everybody about their jobs, their business on upfront. It is a concern.
Yeah.
You know, your credit score and the rest. All that's a concern, not on the upfront, though.
Yeah.
Because first I need to know you.
Yeah.
Because if you're not a fit, what you make and what you do is going to be secondary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you love kids? You know, are you looking to have kids? And the reason I'm asking these things is I might have them, I might not. And if I don't have any kids, I might not want to have any, and you wants to have a family, that's not a good match. So I want to ask you some questions to see. Are you spiritual? Okay. Are you in religion? Mm-hmm. You know, what religion you might be against the religion I'm with. Right. So you asking me to change, or are you willing to change? Are you heavily in your faith, or you just kind of gliding by it because your mom and your daddy taught you it? Right. I just want to know before I can make better decisions. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when I say, do you want to have kids, do you even like kids? How do you treat your own kids? How you treat your baby mama? Mm-hmm. You know, because you say you love your kids, but you say F the baby mama. I need to know that, because if I have a kid, that's how you going to feel about me. I didn't need to know these things. I don't know you, but I want to know how I can get to know you. Okay. What shows do you like? You like horror shows. Mm-hmm. Are you a killer? You like Jeffrey Dahmer? You like to eat, folks? Mm-hmm. What all do you like to eat? What's your eating habits? Do you eat a lot? Do you eat all the time? Do you work out? Do you like to work out? Are you fit? Are you going to try to be fit? Are you going to let your stomach stick past your... I'm just saying, there's just some things happen. I'm just trying to say things can happen. You can let things happen. I'm just trying to figure out where are we going to be down the line. You know, what your mama look like? Do you got a picture of your mom and your daddy? Which one do you think you look like? You don't look like neither one. Or are you really theirs? Was you adopted? Yeah. I got a lot of questions to understand a lot of issues, because I've been through a lot. But it doesn't mean I will ask all these. These are things that's in my head, because I've been through some things. Mm-hmm. And I can ask some questions, because some people don't know how to talk. My whole thing is, why would I ask you about the Young and the Restless and Atlanta Housewives and the football games and the rest? Those are secondary conversations. They're not going to lead me anywhere, but give me a comfortability what you might like. That's all that is.
Let's talk about that, because those questions are just as relevant.
I didn't say they wasn't. I said secondary.
Yeah, but sometimes even on the front side, you don't want to go into, you know, your work and your kids. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You've been to the game? You've been to any games yet this year? Oh yeah, I went to the Sutton game. Me and my girlfriends went out. You know,
that's great.
I want to know. I'm understanding now what you like. I'm understanding if you're willing to talk or if you're willing to be kind of quiet. I'm understanding what gets you excited. I'm understanding what you're passionate about, what you're not passionate about. And if I say something about the Falcons and you was like, oh, they're my boys right there, ain't nobody gonna holler about them. I'm like, okay. Now you like sports.
You like losing.
You talk.
I'm sorry.
That would not be the case, because I like the Falcons, and I don't care about lose. I'm gonna.
I know.
Well,
You
this
just
way
a
I pay my.
diehard
This way I
person.
pay my taxes, and I'm gonna root for the team where I pay my taxes.
Okay,
you know?
just know you be
But-
sitting in the Super Bowl with them. This is watch it.
I don't know. One day it's gonna all change.
Right,
though, Jay.
right.
One day
We
it's gonna all
still
change. But to know about if someone likes athletics or sports or their hobbies, that's a part of getting to know someone. And I think those things oftentimes will bring you closer than some of the other stuff that we just talked about. We absolutely need to know if they're crazy, if they stalkers. We need to know if they like kids, want kids. We need to know if they're religious. We need to know how they treat the babies and we know they work out or eat.
It's two different kinds of conversations you're trying to have. You're trying to be with a person, conversation, as in dating, and to have a conversation.
Dating.
Because I think that both is important. Okay.
Well, yeah.
And what you're saying is correct, totally.
They're
Because,
both important.
and what you're saying is yes, because I'm having a general conversation. It's an icebreaker easily to open up a dialogue with a person.
Right.
I totally agree with you there.
Right.
The dialogue when you're trying to show interest to a person should formulate close to an interest. And the games are nice.
Perhaps.
Games are nice, but it's going to be up to you. Me, I don't go in die hard with a lot of questions because I don't like scaring nobody off. Because I do this.
Questions will scare people off.
They can.
And we need to know that.
And my whole thing is so watch your question, but have directness in your question because, again, it can open up a dialogue that can be great.
Yeah.
But you got to see what works with a person.
Right.
So I just don't go into a person and actions they crazy because that's going to make them uncomfortable because they probably are.
We are,
especially down here.
We are looking for it. We are absolutely looking for it. We're listening for it in your answer.
Yes. And when you talk crazy or it's showing me some things that is just flags, okay? But it's flags that make me ask more questions.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about intense, real questions. But just understand, somebody don't have to be honest about the answer.
And that's key. Because you oftentimes,
just leading you.
again, when you meet someone, you're meeting their representative. Mm-hmm. The representative doesn't have any commitment to be truthful to you. Oh. They don't have any responsibility to tell you exactly what's going on in their life. You might be asking about some things that's not going well. They don't want you to know.
Nope.
And so they'll tell you whatever they want to tell you in order for us to get off the subject or to appease you. So you do have to understand that, there's layers to this thing. There's levels to this thing, right? One of my favorite things to do in the dating world is just talk. It doesn't really matter what we're talking about. Sometimes we may be talking about a movie we saw. Sometimes we may be talking about an experience we had. We may be talking about our uncle, our brother. We may be talking about our business or our passions and our purpose. But I just like the idea of conversation because conversation, there's no pressure there, right? If you start asking personal questions too early in the game, it automatically tells me that you're looking for something and that you are looking pretty damn hard. Mm-hmm. Right? You're trying to judge me. You're trying to assess me. You're trying to put me in a certain box too early in the game. Mm-hmm. I was at a Christmas gathering this year, and I met a lady. She was beautiful. Just throughout the night, she just had a bright smile. She had a great personality.
Can you give me a description of beautiful? She was brick house?
No, she wasn't brick house. She was just a beautiful person.
Oh, nice face.
Yeah. She had a nice face. She had a nice body. You know what I'm saying? But
nice face and nice body.
But she had a great personality. She was getting along with everybody in the room.
Right.
She was
real good.
Cracking jokes here and there. She was a good person. Mm-hmm. And so apparently she had an inclination to me, and so we started a conversation. Mm-hmm. And she was getting deeper and deeper into the conversation because she asked me a question like, so when are you going back to work? And I said, well, I'm not. I'm always at work. You know what I mean? I work for myself. And then she kind of looked interested like, okay, I'm going back to work on the 12th. I said, well, you know what I'm saying? That's great. I'm pretty much chilling. You know what I mean?
And I'm happy to go back and go back.
But she was thrown back by that, right? Because she wasn't quite sure that whether she should ask me, okay, are you employed or do you have income coming in? Like she didn't know. So now she's really trying to dig in. I can see it in her eyes. She wondered. And then she asked me this question.
What's that one?
That it was a beautiful question, but it kind of offended me.
Oh no.
She said, do you go to church? And I said, I was kind of, it threw me off. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with the price from China? I was like, so she trying to figure out my morals and my values.
Right.
And I said,
I
I said, the Lord Jesus is my life, my good and Savior. I said, but I don't go to church a lot. And I find that I have more church at home than I ever have.
Right, through the books, out reading. I got you.
Yeah, man, listen, I have all out church in my house. You know what I mean?
You,
I got
you
paths.
know you ain't got to tell me.
I got paths where I pray and I walk back and forth, and I'm always in the spirit. Oftentimes way more than if I'm going out into the church, because they only do praise and worship for about 15, 20 minutes, and then they on to something else. I want to do praise and worship for an hour, and then I want to start praying, right? And so, but for some reason, I think she was taken back by my answer, right?
Okay.
Like I didn't fit that mold in her, right? And she started distancing herself away from me a little bit, right after that. And so immediately I said, oh, that's where she comes from.
Right.
That's the world she lives in. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know me. She doesn't have a clue what I do, who I am. She don't know I can
recite the Bible.
Pray them broken bones off of her or whatever, she might have. So you can ask offensive questions too early. Mm-hmm. And it'll make you sound nosy. It'll make you seem like you're just trying to get in people's business. It may make you sound judgmental. Mm-hmm. And even more than that, not just asking the question, but your response to the question. Your body language. You may roll your eyes, you working well at your convenience store, you know what I mean? But you don't know that somebody else is, they about to write a contract for their hobby or their passion, or they, they building up this, that, and the other. They may be taking care of their mama. Yeah, I still live with my mom, right? You don't tell her why. But, I'm still staying with my mom, just taking care of her a little bit, But all of a sudden, you can start, going down the rabbit hole with some of the answers because you don't really understand that situation. So I like dates that are just soft and easy, right? My thing is, I want to know if you will communicate. Introverted people have a tendency to be real quiet. Mm-hmm. They don't want to spark nothing in the conversation. I might have asked 2 or 3 questions hoping to spark a dialogue, but you just answer the question and be quiet. You don't keep talking. You don't keep, jabbing in. You don't keep chiming. You don't see an opportunity to make a joke, whatever the case may be. And that tells me a lot about you.
It can.
Right? That
some
tells
people's
me
not
that
forthcoming.
Some people's not very forthcoming. That's exactly right. Yeah. And sometimes because they don't want you to know, and sometimes they're just less inclined to speak to you, less
Correct.
inclined to talk to you about their life. And and a lot of people are dealing with hurts and pains. They're dealing with ex-boyfriends and girlfriends who did them wrong, and maybe several of them. They may be dealing with daddy issues and mama issues. They may be dealing with money issues. They may not feel like they look pretty. They may not feel like their life is going in a good direction, but they're still good people. They're still people that's worthwhile to get to know. And what I'm attempting to do is to keep hardcore judgment out of early dating. Right? Now, you may see something early in the game that you don't like. Oh, you go out 2, 3, 4 nights a week. Ah, okay. I know where your money's going. Oh, yeah. You probably play a little player. You know what I'm saying? You probably doing a little more than I would do. And as you get to know that scenario, you make the discernment. Right? You oftentimes don't even have to ask a question. So, you got a girlfriend? When the last time you had a girlfriend? And how many girlfriends you had in the last 3 years? Now you're prodding and you're poking, and oftentimes you'll actually change the answers in that way. Asking questions is good. You just have to be careful how you do it.
I like that. I like the careful part, because I feel like some people are reckless. Because you've been in a bad relationship, so now you're reckless and you automatically assume the next person. And I like to say you never got healed. A lot of times, like, I got out of a relationship, so I have to take time to myself. Regardless of who did what, I don't always look at who did the worst. My whole thing is to better me. Did I approach it the right way? What all did I do to contribute to a fact that I didn't really like how it went? So when I step away, I don't step away with a hatred. I step away with an understanding that it didn't work. But I want to better myself for it to work the next time. Right. And it's not judging the person that I was with. It's judging me. Mm-hmm. What are the contributing factors that I might have done? And a lot of things we don't look at. Oh, she did this shit. That's blaming. Okay? I accepted my responsibility when I entered it. So when I leave it, I have to accept it didn't work. In accepting that, I have to do a hard, cold look at me. It's easy to say all the things she did. I can't control her, but I can control me. Right. So she might have brought up some things that I might need to look at, you know. And are you a person that's attentive to them? Are you a person that's going to give them everything, put them on a platform? Are you not going to look at anybody else? Okay, before I ever get to a point where I don't look at anybody else and I put you on a pedestal, you got to earn that. Ain't no way in the world you're going to come into my life and all of a sudden you're going to get that off the rip. Right. My whole thing is, respectfully, I'm going to try to give you all the things through time because I don't know you. And I'm coming from a singleness that I look and I try to find the best things into people, not always try to be with people. I've done that already.
Yeah.
I'm old enough in my life that I don't have to be with everybody no more. I'm trying to find the right one for me and not try to be with everyone because that's what I wanted to do when I was young and I didn't know no better. Ran down, I tried to hit it all. Had somebody telling me, man, you needed to walk down. I ain't hear that. Walking down, I ain't going to get nothing. I'm going to be sitting there by myself and I don't want to be by myself. So I ran down there and I caught some things. I did. I ain't know how tired I was going to be after I caught him. After I caught him, I couldn't do nothing with him because I was so tired. So I didn't understand what they were saying. Praying for understanding, now all of a sudden, old things that was told to me starting to make sense to me. And that's why I had to pray for understanding. So now that I understand better, I have to do better. I have, to me, a commitment behind my own actions compared to comparing to somebody else's.
Yeah.
And then you will make change. That's what I'm saying.
So watch this. Let's say you're having a conversation with this date.
Okay.
It's going pretty well. And 2, maybe even 3 times they mentioned that they had just talked to their ex.
Okay.
Does that bring up a red flag for you? You hanging out with this guy and he was like, yeah, I was talking to my ex and she was, you know, yeah, my ex told me that, you know, like, what does that do for you? What does that do for you?
It makes me feel like they still somewhat, well, not even somewhat, I feel like they're still there with their ex. Even if they're not there physically, you're showing me signs that you're there mentally. So how can you be there for me?
Okay.
I like that.
And it may be time to ask the question. Right. So listen, I heard you talking about your ex a couple of times. Are y'all close? Right? You still love him? Do you still love her?
You're going deep.
Well, you know, all I'm really interested in doing is seeing their response. Yeah. It's not going to be the answer that necessarily makes me determine, but their response.
How they respond, how they look is everything.
It's everything when you ask that question.
I talk to my ex often.
Right.
Up at a funeral right now. She called and told me about family and everything. I'm talking about ex-wife, not ex-girlfriend. That's my ex-wife and I still communicate. We are not just kids. Everybody want to blame it on kids. No, we have a friendship. We was a friend first. We went to divorce and it was ugly. After we got past that, I got past the hurt and understand that's the person I chose to be with the rest of my life. So ain't no need of me ever hating. Okay? I understand that we failed, but we don't need to hate. And we brought families together. Even though we're divorced, them families still love me. Just like I'm their own. It never changes. Because I grew up with somebody. I grew up with her. They grew up with me.
Right.
So anybody passed, they're going to ask about it. And it's understanding.
And
so some people, that's a problem. And I get it. Because if you weak-minded like that, I'm not the strong person for you. Because I'm not turning on my family. I'm not turning on my kids. I don't have to run to her for anything. Because I already took care of her in every way fashion. But when it comes to forward, I like for people to understand me from where I stand compared to where they comfortable at. Some people are more comfortable. No, you just give it all to me. When that person had me before you, and if you don't see I can still respect her, then how you think I'm going to respect you? Because if I'm showing her disrespect, and then I'm telling you I'm not with her, but I'm talking down to her, how you think I'm going to do you? There's no difference. And that's what people like. Well, I like the fact he ain't talking to her no more because you got some other problems with you. I want to know how you treated that person. Because certain things you ain't going to do to me. If you talk down to your last man and you made him belittled, regardless of my job, one thing you're never going to do to me as a man is talk down to me and make me feel little to you. It's not going to happen. I don't care if you rich. I ain't going to throw a name out there because it don't matter what riches they have. You rich and you still think you can do that. As a man, I will not allow it. Because that's how you show value within you. But people want to say it because of what you've been through. No, it's what I've grown from. Because what I was is not what I am today.
Right.
And everybody can understand it when you walk my path, not just because of how I talk. It's because of where I'm at. Because somebody can always bring up my past. Bring it up. But I will show you where I've grown from there to here that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. That's if I care to give it.
Right.
This show shows it because anybody can see my maturity levels. Because before I just wanted to run the street. I want to have fun. Why wouldn't I? What's divorce? Why wouldn't I? I'm in on ATL. Beautiful place. But longevity-wise, I want to make an impact. I want to leave a legacy. I can't leave it with everyone, but I can leave it with a certain one.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of guy, I talk to just about everybody I've ever known. Mm-hmm. You know, there's almost nobody who I've thrown away. So if you asking me about my exes, I'm going to have a decent relationship with them because I don't throw people away. I may get mad as hell with them for a year or two, maybe not even talk to them, but I never hate them. And I more than likely will not turn my back on them unless that's the kind of person that they are, right? But to know about a person's recent past can help you understand what you're dealing with, right? You need to know at a certain, maybe this is a second or third date. And at that point, you getting real interested in them. There's a lot of phone conversation, a lot of stuff happen between those dates, right? That bring you closer and you get to know each other. But at a certain point, you got to say, hey, what's really going on? So where are you spending your nights? Because you don't be at home, right? Right? You still seeing your ex-girlfriend? You're seeing, you have somebody you seeing, somebody you talk to, somebody you getting busy with or something like that. And ultimately, you just want to wait and see what their response is. Because they're going to tell you. The response is typically going to tell you that you might have something to be concerned about, you might have some more questions to ask, or that this person might be genuinely in a single-based world and good for you, the two of you, to entertain one another.
Some fun.
Go ahead.
And you already know why. Because of what I do. We're going to leave Camo alone.
Okay.
Just bar talk. The fact that I was on AM radio and then I came and did my own podcast, and I've been doing it for a while now. And they look at how many people you got following you and all the rest, okay? So you got a level of success that different people measure differently. It's not my success. It's one of the things I just want to do. But people look at you differently. So because of the fact that you do relationships, they automatically assume you're a relationship guru, all right? So you got all the answers, so you got all the women. First of all, I don't have all the answers because I don't think like a woman. So I never have all the answers, but I want us to have a dialogue. But everybody has their own thought. And my whole thing is I'm still a person. So they come at me all the time with other issues and problems, and they don't understand they ain't talking to me. You're talking about a platform that I speak on. So my whole thing is when I date somebody, I'm always being challenged about, well, you a homemaker. No, back in the day I was. I did. I ain't no need to lie. I did some of my things. But I'm more than that. I've been more than that even when I was doing that. That's why I stopped, because I was easy to see. That's something you can manipulate and do. I ain't a pimp. Because I'm not making them go out and make me no money at any of that. My whole thing is I want to be the best person that I can be, and that's not the best person I can be. That's just something that I played into, and I realized it was just a bad path. So as you better yourself, you start changing. And not only do you change, I ain't even forgot who all I was with. That's the maturity level of me taking some things into accountability compared to just playing around with people. And that's what I see happening today. It's easy to play, especially when you got some knowledge on how to address somebody. I have the gift to gab, but the bottom line is I also have the gift to love. I remember with this new dating site, it gets to be too easy. And I'm going to tell you why. Back in my day, I went to a club. It was 4 women sitting at a table. I didn't know which one liked me. I tried to see who eyed me and showed me some attention. And then I walked to the table and I tried to address her in a way that I can grab her attention and get her away from her girls, because I already knew if I picked the wrong one, it's like lions. They going to get you, okay? You're going to walk away with your tail.
You always let them pick.
And I always, I did, but I had an interest. And a lot of times I had to pick. Because I don't know about you, Kraft, because I was thin too. The bigger girls always liked us.
Yes,
let's just be honest.
They did.
So I didn't always care for a big girl. I dated one before, but I'm just saying I didn't always. So if I had somebody that I drew an interest to, I try to see if she can get some eye contact with me before I even approach. To see if something was there, because I already knew when I walked in that direction and I went, you only had one chance to impress her, to get her away from them, or you're going to be in a situation that you don't like because you got a lot of people coming at you. And that built up character. Okay? And that's what makes me strong enough to be able to speak to somebody today, to get in front of a board, to be in front of somebody, because I had a scaredness to be in front of a crowd. But when you try to make your shot and you thinking this might be the one, you got that courage built up. Well, it's not just for that. It's just to build up in you. Do you know how easy it is to swipe left, swipe right? Because that's all these apps are. And then this person comes to the front and they like you. There's no work in that. I already know they like me. Conversation ain't going to be that great because I have to force myself to walk up to a situation I can be embarrassed. Ain't no embarrassment if a woman come to me.
That's how we really do it.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's how the game plays.
That's the difference, because a real woman normally ain't going to approach a man.
Right.
I'm here with my girls, so you have to impress me to make me walk away from my girls and talk to you.
Yeah.
So you come with your best game. Apps today, I ain't got to give my best. Oh, you like me? I mean, okay. Now listen.
What do they like?
Look. Oh, first of all,
right.
Okay. I wouldn't normally walk up and talk to a okay. You got options. With them options, you're building an ego. With that ego, you're not being fair. So now to the person that likes you that you know you really don't like, you'll talk to her, but you really ain't got no real interest. That's not fair to her. She showed you interest, but you really ain't showing her, but you've given her a little bit of time. Those are playing games. That's where I feel like sometimes we got to get away from.
Perhaps.
My whole thing is, well, again, I got to talk radio show. I got some things. So my whole thing is I do want people to listen to me and talk to me, and I will tell them how I promote and I do things. But a lot of times when people are on apps and you got 10 people across the top that like you, you know, so you got one person that will probably grab just the one that he really likes and talk to. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's just be honest. A lot of people will play the dozen because people like to gamble. I'm going to talk to all 10. I'm going to send all 10 some messages and see who all comes back which way so I can make the best assessment. You see what I'm saying? So now you have a person that's just getting to me more worldly, and that's where I was. I had more selections, more choosings and pickings, and I didn't formulate a plan for one. So it's hard when I'm now trying to formulate a plan for one because of all what I did. I spread myself thin. Now I want to get back. And it's hard because now I got all these decisions I got to make and all these things, you know, and that's where people get away from that they don't understand. Because before, if I just got out my divorce and I just went into this, I would have been healed and more focused. Now I'm more worldly because now I know how people playing games. I know how things are going. And I don't want these things done to me. So now I'm not in the best position. But I'm going to make the best out of everything. Business, life, and everything else. So I have to take things a little bit more seriously. And I'm kind of a person, before I come out just with a list, I'm also willing to listen. I love it when a woman come to me with a list of what she wants. Not just for me to play her, for me to better understand her.
Yeah.
Because some people, I know how to play her. Listen, I don't got to know how to play anybody. I'm the strongest motherfucker on the game. Right. And I'm not out to lose. I'm like Will Smith. You play against me, you're going to lose. It's like playing a game of spades. I might lose, but I promise you it ain't going to be in my vocabulary. And you better hold on to that because I'm coming back. That's just me. And in the game of relationships, same way. Game on when you come for me, but it's not a negative thing. I want the best. I want a person that can play.
See, the challenge is that it takes so long to know that they're the best. And you're going to figure out some things out front. You're going to figure out, y'all can hobnob, you know what I'm saying? You got some things in common, but it's going to take a long time to get to know that person.
Right.
You're not going to get to know them quickly, early. You're going to get to know some things about them. But we know people who are married for years and didn't know their spouse.
Yeah, representative.
Spouse did this or like this, et cetera, et cetera. That's why they just keep it user friendly. Asking too many questions is not good. And yes, it does matter if you're trying to get to know this person.
It does.
Right?
And then one I'm going to give you that everybody don't do, and I think is great, is they're willing to make plans with you. I'm telling you now, you really want to know if a person really into you, they make plans. Plans are going out. Plans are doing trips. Because a person that's planning on smashing you, that's just typical, right? But when a person taking out of his time and schedule to give some off time to spend with you, is key. because that's some of the things you want long term than short.
Right.
Because my whole thing, people can impress you with dinners and all that. Okay, people gonna eat anyway. So some people are used to that lime life. That life is nice. But the bottom line is, when we both struggling, we both going through things, when that person come to you and be like, yo, you think it might be time for us just to spend some quality time together? Let's just do a trip. And y'all both planning. That's key to a person that sees you is longevity, to ensure it. Because I hardly ever really plan on doing trips with somebody I don't see long term.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I do short time things with them. You know, we go bowling. We'll do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
But when we talking about going on a cruise, I'm looking long term. That's an investment. And when you start talking about marriage, that's an investment. I don't even look for marriage like that, but I understand the love I have towards the institute of long work with it, because it's a contractual agreement. So I ain't gonna play with it. But when somebody just throw it at me, I want to see what are they really saying to me, because it benefits you more than me. Because I'm leaving a whole lot, because I done worked a lot. So if I'm leaving it, you got to be worthy for it. Because again, some of that's being taken from my kids, because that's who's going to benefit anyway if I ain't met you. Right. They got this because I made them. Right. So for you to add something to it, let's add. Let's make it meaningful. And that's why I feel like some people just want it, because I just want to be left something. That's because you ain't willing to work. Because I really feel like you need to work and get it. And then whatever's being given, that's just a blessing. And that's why people are being blessed. And unfortunately, we are behind, because some of that stuff been robbed from us. I ain't gonna even talk about the institution or America or all the rest in slavery. I'm just telling you, a lot of us has not gotten all that we should get, but the bottom line, we're going to get. When you get your mind right, open up and quit being closed-minded to what should be given and go get it. We are go-getters. We done invented everything that made this a great America. So let's make it greater and keep on getting and doing. Consider to not working. I don't know where this non-working situation came from, where we don't want to. I just say let's be great at it and get everything we can. Because if we do this and get insurance, I said this before, if you want to see some of these cops stop killing us, everybody get insurance. Because the insurance company will investigate any killing, because they don't want to pay out. And these dirty cops that's out here doing it, they will be prosecuted. Not by us. Because we don't always stand strong. But I'm telling you, an insurance company is huge, and they are. And they ain't trying to pay out. Now, to a lot of people, you just pushing for in life insurance. I'm pushing it because I know what they don't care to pay out. And I know what I'm tired of hearing about. So if more of us did it, I promise you the payout will make some things change. Because behind the scenes, they ain't going to be looking for that officer to pay that. If it's a wrongful death, they're going for him. And it's something that we don't always finish up because we're just being hunted. I promise you, the insurance company is not trying to pay out, ever. It's about them making their collateral profit up front. Not this badness on the backside. They got people to go out and do this. And it's sad that I have to put it out like that. It's a formula that I'm telling you that will make change quickly. Why am I saying it? Because I'm tired of hearing about it too. Do I not have insurance? Yeah, I got insurance on me and everything that's close to me. Why? Because I want that same insurance. And I really feel like we need to put, how much money do it cost? Listen, get past that portion and understand the value of life. I don't want to lose nobody. Let's just keep it real. But in this game of life, I have to protect myself. You know, in Georgia now, new law, January 1st. You ain't got to have a permit to open carry or conceal. I'm going to get mine regardless, because I don't know where everything going. But that happened. I had to learn it on TikTok. I ain't see it on the news. I ain't see it everywhere, but it's true. Mm-hmm. So again, we want to focus on where it's all going. I want to get us in a better place for we can have a love for each other, for we can get back to one another. And that has been kind of broken, and I want it fixed. That's what we do.
And it's going to start, at least with love or like, it's going to start with dating. And in that process, we're almost out of time here. Let me just kind of summarize. There is, you've probably got a roadmap that you take to get to know people. Mm-hmm. Plan it. Work it. You know, be inquisitive. Sometimes you ask questions. Sometimes you may ask other questions just to get somebody to share with you some truths about themselves or their lives. You are probably not going to get the whole answer, the whole truth, the truth and nothing but the truth. You're
Right.
going to get a portion of the truth
Right.
because they don't want you in their business and they don't want you to know who they are really.
Yeah, I'm a janitor.
Okay. And so, ultimately, you have to kind of play the game to get to know people. And that's okay because all couples have come together through that same game. And we know that it does work and you can have a successful relationship, not in game mode, but in understanding mode. Right? Dating is about understanding. It's about getting to know. It does matter. And whether you ask the question or not, it does matter that you are getting to know this person. Are they good people? Are they not so good people? Do they work? Do they not work? Are they givers? Are they takers? Are they friendly? Do they have tempers? There's all kinds of things we want to know. But it doesn't happen until you're in a dating scene, really communicating with someone who just might be God's pick for your life. So be patient and don't be judgmental. People are people. Nobody's going to be perfect. But if you see some stuff that royally throws you off the curve, get out of it and keep moving on. Be friendly. You don't have to throw people away, but be friendly and keep moving on. And that's the lesson for today.
I remember one time I told somebody I was a janitor, and they said, "Why you lie? You're a VP, you do this." I said, "Yeah, but I clean house." That's what I do.
Okay.
When things don't work right, I clean house.
Okay.
So I told them I was a janitor. So they thought, well, I thought you was just cleaning up this, and you put your own formulation what a janitor is.
Yeah.
I just told you I was a janitor because telling you I'm a VP, you looking at the VP level.
You looking at the VP
this,
level.
you looking at that. My whole thing is I'm telling you what I really do. And just like you coming in my life thinking you're going to rule me, I'm telling you I'm about to clean house.
Yeah.
And you're going to be cleaned up, you're going to be washed out, and you ain't going to be with me. So my whole thing is I'm telling you what's going to really be, but what you thinking I'm lying about covering up what I am, there's no covering what I am. It's public. It's public knowledge. You can figure out what I am. But just know what I'm about. I'm about cleaning up because I made enough mistakes. I'm trying to clean up what I did, and I make better from my situation, so I feel like I'm a janitor. You can't take away from what I feel. You want to talk about a job for you can see where you want to put me on your little scale. I'm not registerable. You ain't going to be able to register this, okay?
Yeah.
But you can understand what I'm telling you. I'm just a janitor, so you can think of me on the low, you can understand I like to clean things. So are you going to come to add value, or I'm going to have to clean house again?
There you go.
Because I done did it more than once.
Any comment, JG? Anything that stands out for you tonight as we close up?
Just asking the right questions, and you guys taught me a lot just listening to you guys talk tonight. I've learned a lot about dating. It's not my strongest thing, and I'm not as open to dating, but just being prepared with asking the right questions make me kind of more open to wanting to date maybe in the future here. Not saying now.
One question I would tell my daughter to ask somewhere, especially when it starts getting a little too uncomfortable, say, do you think men and women can be friends? And just have him to entertain that for a little bit. See how he responds to that, right? That may tell you a lot about who he is.
And my second one is, see if you can find somebody before I already know what you're going to be. Because then you'll know if that person can handle what you're going to be. I feel like you're going to be a star, okay? And everybody wants them. They come for you then. My whole thing, can you handle it before I was becoming that? Because then they love you for you, not what you're about to become. Because again, I feel like it's coming. And if somebody can respect that now, they can respect it even more because you projected it.
Right.
You already knew what you was going to be. Everybody didn't believe it. But if you get a person that can, it can be long lasting compared to a person that just want to attach. And remember, a star burns bright with intensity heat that everybody can't hold.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. And that's a great way to close our show. This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J. We have our guest JG in the house. And how can they find you, JG?
On all music platforms,
yes.
all social sites at JG Music.
All right. And so we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. We are here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. And of course, you can find us on every major platform. Please
Yes.
like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends and family, and continue to come back and visit with us and get some more of this good, down to earth wisdom that we bring in every show.
Yes.
We want you folks to know that we love you, we appreciate you, and with that,
We
we
are
are
out.
out.
Ain't no last call here.
Talk shit.